Welcome back, everybody, to the A Little Less Fear podcast. I'm very happy to introduce my guest today, Marnye Moore with Envision Results. She's from South Carolina, which I've never been because I want to visit some of the original 13 colonies in the United States. But welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to talk with you today.
My pleasure. So I'm going to give you 3 key words. And from those 3 key words, choose which one you want to start with and let our audience know why you chose these words.
Okay.
So the first word is going to be self-awareness. Second is goals versus greed. And third, law of attraction.
Okay. I think I will go with goals versus greed.
That's a good one. Why goals versus greed?
So let me back up. I'm your average everyday person. I'm the average size. I'm the average shoe size. I've had an average life and it's just all average. And I was told for a very long time, media, family, friends, that I should be pretty darn content with my life, that everything is good enough and that I didn't need goals and that I should live simply so that others could simply live. And so goals were those things that took things away from other people. And now I look at it like, you know what, that's not right. A goal is not greedy. A goal is my divine right. And the more that I can do for myself, acquire physically, financially, mentally, and spiritually, the more I have to give to other people.
Absolutely.
So I don't see goals as being greed. I think that people need to put that aside and go for whatever it is that makes their heart sing and become all that they can, because then they have more to give, more to do. And when you start chasing these goals, when you start taking the baby steps to get to them, everything starts changing. You can start this direction and you move just 1 degree and you just never know where you're going to go. So that's why I like goals versus greed.
That's really important. You know what? I've noticed that myself. It's like the more that you're actually doing to build yourself, you're really building for other people. And that's really important. It's important for longevity. It's important to your spiritual growth and for personal development.
Mm-hmm. I don't care if the words to resonate with are universe, source, spirit, or God. As human beings, as we become more evolved and we're able to identify bigger and better things or other opportunities in the world, whether they be bigger or better, but we see more, we become more aware, those words kind of start to blur. And so I see those as all being one thing. And we're all connected through energy. I mean, everything in the world is made up of atoms and molecules. Everything is energy. And so when we start expressing that energy and we get into a vibration of what it is that we want to go after in life, you start to breathe and you can relax and you start moving with that energy, and that energy is what brings in the law of attraction. That energy is what helps you manifest or take the action steps to get what you want. In going after a goal, I ask people to make a goal that they would never, ever in their wildest dreams think that they could do. I'm going to buy a house with cash. I'm going to have $500,000 and I'm going to buy that thing, that one over there, 3 blocks, 2 acres, the big veranda, all of those little bells and whistles. And that is going to be my goal. And it's going to be something that's going to be amazing. But in that journey, there are these other little goals, these little steps. What am I going to do in exchange for the money, that $500,000? Well, how much do I need to make? And it just becomes a step-by-step process rather than this big looming, I can't even get my mind around it, I'm not going to do it. And so we just take it a bit at a time. And it's not about being greedy. It's about developing you. And it's about providing for your friends and your family and your church, your community, those causes that mean something to you. And what means something to you may not mean something to me, but we're all in this together and we're all expressing this energy of making something better.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. So how does this coincide with Envision Results?
So years ago, I was an executive assistant And I was in a very well-paid job and a very comfortable company, and it was all fabulous and wonderful. And I was sitting at my desk sobbing because I was so bored. And I answered an ad on Facebook about getting a coach. And she walked me through the steps of finding goals. She walked me through the steps of changing my self-image. She walked me through the steps of getting self-confidence. And when I said, I don't really have any goals. I'm fed, I'm clothed, everything is fine. I've got a job. And she's like, she called crap on it. She said, no, that's not even close, because you're sitting at your desk sobbing. You know that there's more that you should be doing. Something.
That's so true. Wow. She read you so well.
She did. She was really, really good. And so she introduced me to a number of mentors, and evidently they were people that I'd kind of been following right along, and I just didn't realize what I was doing. So right now, I like Bob Proctor. He's a nice old man. He speaks a language that I understand. He delivers his message in a way that I understand. And I always encourage people, find the thing that resonates with you. And he did. And so it made it very easy for me to start achieving these goals. And as time went on, it was like, I need to ditch this job and do something else. And I started looking at coaching. My coach had recommended it. And she said, give it a look. I interviewed a number of companies, and it came down to that when you want to learn a thing, it really helps to start teaching a thing, because you have to learn it well and start doing that. As coaches, our very first client is ourselves. And so I'm the one who has to walk the talk and do what it is I'm asking other people to do. And so that's what I did. And I spent a lot of time thinking about Envision Results. What did I want to do? And part of it is, building that vision board so that the picture is always in front of you, and having that vision in your heart and in your mind, what it is you're going to do. Your affirmations are not, gee, I feel really good today. Your affirmations are, I'm going to buy that house with cash. That's my affirmation. I need to know what it is that makes me move forward. And there are ups and there are downs, and life is not always the easiest thing, but we get there step by step.
Yes, we do get there. Tell us more about your vision board. Is it literally a board that you created with like magazine cuts, or was it something that you listed in like a book or a diary?
I kind of have both. My vision board is pictures. A lot of them are Pinterest. Pinterest is
I love Pinterest. You find everything on Pinterest. Yeah, it's so inspiring.
I know, exactly. And you can make your wallpaper on your desktop, on your laptop, out of Pinterest. You can download the images, stack them up, save it as a JPEG, and add that as your wallpaper. You can make it anything you want. And so
you use Pinterest to make your vision board?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that when I'm going to try my laptop, one of my coaches suggested that, and she was really good. She said, "No, you're just going to do this, this, and this." And she said, "Okay, let's have a glass of champagne." Okay. It was great. Anyway, so
do you mind sharing what was on your vision board, and how long ago did you make that vision, and could you compare it to what it's like now?
Oh yeah, I'm always updating it.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's true. Because as you go along, things are going to change. So don't keep, wow, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So every so often something is, cruising Pinterest. It's like, ooh, I like that. And I'll bring it in. It's not that I necessarily go looking for, but something inspires me or I don't know, speaks to me in some way. And so I'll save the image, bring it down. And in Pinterest, I have a private board or a private file in there, and all these images that I want to keep. And then every so often I go in and look at them, clean them out, bring down the ones that I want to keep because they still speak to me, and I put them up on my wallpaper. And so I look at them in that way. The human mind works in pictures, in just general terms.
Yeah, visualizing things.
Yeah, very, very broad terms. So we've got a conscious mind that says we're going to bring in all of this information through our five senses. And we've got a subconscious mind that says this is everything that I'm willing to keep because it's attached to an emotion whether it made you feel good or bad or happy or anxious or excited or frightened or what have you. You know, I see spiders, I'm going to leave because I'm not my thing.
Right.
Chocolate cake, I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Me too.
Exactly. So, so if thoughts are energy and energy is action and action is motion, then that's where your results are. And so, but those thoughts are pictures, and that's where we start. So what's the picture you want in your mind? What do you envision for yourself? What do you envision 3 years down the road? What do you envision 1 year down the road? What do you envision 6 months? And when you start backing it up, you can see the steps that you're going to be taking. You're going to see the journey. And when you start living as if that goal is done, that's the way I live. There's no exception there. Every morning I get up and make the bed. That's just the way it is. Right. And to walk into the room and have the bed unmade, it's unacceptable. It's just not going to happen. Right. I don't live like that. The house is tidy. I just need it that way. And it's a habit that I've developed. Right. So anyway, the conscious mind brings it in, the subconscious mind keeps it. So pay attention what you're paying attention to. What are you thinking about? Those are the things you're going to do.
Could you give us more example on conscious mind versus the subconscious mind? You mentioned something about feelings being involved versus...
Sure. Yeah. You know, we started off in goal and greed, and it's like, okay, look, as an average person, you're not supposed to have anything beyond what it is you need because you're comfortable and right. And anything beyond that is greedy. Okay. Conscious mind, subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is, let me see.
Let's break it down as simple as, let's pretend someone has no idea what the word subconscious and conscious means.
Sure. So so in very broad terms, the conscious mind, let's say, the conscious mind is where we take in through our sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. Those are just the stimulus that we receive every day, right? And it's just rolling around in our brain. And then the subconscious mind is the suitcase, the attic, or the basement where we start packing those things away because they have meaning and we have embraced them in some way, shape, or form. And you'll notice that as you go through life, people say, you know, if you have an upbeat attitude, you'll see better things in the world. You'll see what it is you're expecting to see. So if you expect to see good things, you'll start seeing good things. If you expect to have a bad experience, most likely you'll have a bad experience because you've programmed yourself to do that. Your subconscious mind is programmed with everything that you took in through your 5 senses. And you said, yep, I can work with that. Good, bad, or otherwise, I can work with that. I'm going to keep it. And as you stack these things on top of each other, you get these things called paradigms. And it's just a little, you know, a stack of habits, right? And I want to say by the age of 30, 35, 97% of what we do is habit. Brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, driving your car, going to work, you know, picking up a pencil, doing this, this, and this. And so we take all these habits, we put them together, and that becomes a paradigm or a stack of habits. And what I want you to do is unwind that, open it up, pull out a bad habit, stick a better one in, and put it all back together. And that's your subconscious. And it takes time because your subconscious is programmed over time.
Sure is.
Repetition. You know, when you're little, read it, do it. You took time to learn to drive a car, took time to learn to tie your shoe. And so it's all that stuff that you're not thinking about that your body and your mind just does automatically. And that's your subconscious. And you can't stop it. It's there. It's the thing that's going to move you. If you're happy, you're going to behave in one way. If you're sad, you're going to behave in another way. And so what I want you to do is I want you to start tapping into that subconscious and go, okay, let's just slow down and look at what we're doing. What are the results that you're getting? And if they're not what you want, then you have to back it up and figure out what it is you're feeling, what it is you're thinking, and why you're acting that way. And when you can isolate that, then you can start changing it. You can start going, oh, okay, you know what? I have a habit of leaving my shoes in front of the front door. That's got to stop. That's just got to stop. So why am I doing that? Well, it was just convenient and somebody else always took care of it. Okay, we're not going to do that anymore. And I know that that's very simplistic, but, you know, we need to figure out, you know, what it is you're doing. I talked earlier about Rich Litvin, and he talks about making a list of all of your fears. And when you can identify your fears, you can figure out what your desires are, because your fears are clouding that. Right. You don't want to move through those. It's scary. That's a fear. It's scary. And so you need to identify it and recognize that it's just a fear. There's nothing that can hurt you unless you let it.
Do you have an example of somebody that you've worked with that seemed to be a little stuck in their fear and their bad habit into their subconscious, and it was just kind of hard to break, but then they finally figured it out and you helped them kind of?
I have a friend up in Toronto, and she cannot make a phone call to talk to some of her patients. She's an oncology nurse, and she just can't make the phone call. So she'll text them or email them. She can't make the phone call.
To tell them that the bad news?
Just not even to tell them bad news, just to check
news in general.
She just can't make that phone call.
Okay.
I was like, what is your deal?
Yeah.
That was my question. What is your deal? It's a phone call. You're just going to ask them what's going on. What did they think? How did it go?
True.
I got the questions. This is what you're going to ask them. And she said, well, I, and that was her answer. I. She didn't even know what it was.
Wow.
And so I said, so
that's really tricky. Yeah. It seems like she's definitely not, she wasn't aware.
Yeah. Whatsoever. She's not even. So anyway, so the last time she said, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so did you do that? No, I did not. Well, this got in the way and that got in the way. And often we let life get in the way, and you can't. At some point, you've just got to stop yourself and do it. And so I asked her to write down the questions. I asked her what they were going to say to her, and that helped her to identify what the concern was. What did she think they were going to say? Are you sure? Because you don't know what they're going to say. You haven't talked to them.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea. That was just what
her preconceived anxiety.
Yeah. And so the last conversation we have, I said, I'm not going to talk to you until you make this phone call. You've got 3 phone calls to make. This is not the end of the world. Make the bloody phone call and tell me how it went. You'll be fine. It'll be okay. And she said, fine. And sometimes that's what we need. It's really easy to go to work for somebody and bust your butt for your employer. But would you bust your butt for you?
Right.
You're the CEO of you.
Exactly.
Would you hire you? Would you allow yourself to blow those things off? That's your assignment. That's your job description. That's what you need to do. Come on.
So what happened with the doctor? Was she able to break that?
Yeah, she's an oncology nurse. And so nurse. Yeah, okay. She's able to break it. It just took some pushing until she actually realized that she was blowing it off because she was afraid of these people saying, you know what, I really don't like you calling me, or I really don't want to talk to you. I see you enough in another setting. And it was, she just was afraid of what she didn't know. And a lot of life is that way. We're afraid of what we don't know. What does somebody think? What does somebody feel? Are we going to be pushy? Are we in their way? No, just do it. Just move forward. You don't know until you know. And yeah, it's hard. And yeah, some people are going to be negative, but it's okay. They're words.
Yes, okay. Exactly. They're just words.
You'll be okay. And it's hard. I get my feelings hurt too. Life is up and down. And
oh yeah. So what keeps you going? What keeps you motivated?
So I have a really great partner, and he is annoyingly positive all the time. And so and that's good.
Yes, that is
good. And I have realized at the ripe old age of 55 that I want stuff. And I want to do things, and I want to go places. And so this annoyingly positive partner is like, well, then let's go do those things. And he's not suddenly, but he's on my team. He's on my side. And he's willing to say, okay, I can get on board with all of that. you've always been supportive of what I want to do, and I'll be supportive of what you want to do. And I can do anything with a wingman. So that's what keeps me motivated. I've got this guy that I'm trying to catch up to, and he's happy as a clam to support me and to move forward. And now that I've got a wingman, I got somebody that I can lean on and let him carry some of the load too. It's not always that way, but he's not tearing me down. He's happy to just stand there and go, okay, let's try.
How long has he been your wingman?
10 years.
10 years. That's a long time. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. So
how did do you mind me asking how you and your wingman met?
We met at a business dinner many years ago. It took us like 6 years or 7 years to finally connect the dots.
Wow. That's a long time.
We met, over the course of that 6 years, I guess every 2 or 3 years, until we were both in the same chapter of the same book. That's how I tell it, in the same chapter of the same book.
Meaning the right time at the right place.
Yeah, that's it. That's
it. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. And we both had lives prior to we met each other. And so it took some time for all that to come together. And, truthfully, the first time I met him, I didn't actually remember his name. When I met him again, a few years later, I was like, gosh, he looks really familiar. I wonder who he is.
It's so interesting. I love hearing these stories.
It's good.
So where do you, Marnye, where do you see Envision Results in the future? What do you see doing with your company?
So right now, what I see is I have one-on-one clients, and those are really fun because it allows for a lot of intimacy in the conversation. I see it coming together. I kind of feel like in the back of me that there's a book coming out called Stuck to Started, because that's who I was. I just needed a way to get started. And once I got started, it was so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
And, sometimes you just need a boost. Chris was that, come on.
Yeah, cheerleader.
Yeah, let's go. You can do this.
Right.
So I see that. And I see passive income. I see a life of working with people, of talking to rooms of people, of doing lunch and learns. I like lunch and learns. They're, 5 to 10 people, and you can talk, and it's a little bit intimate, and it's, 30 to 45 minutes of go fight, win. You can do this. What are your results telling you? How do you want them to change? And what's standing in your way? Let's work on that confidence and that self-image. Those are really fun to do because people come out of it going, I needed that today. I've got something I've got to do. I've had this idea. Thanks for the motivation. Thanks for telling me it's going to be good and inspiring. Sometimes we just need that.
Yeah. That's so awesome that you call yourself a life coach, a mentor, a counselor. I mean, which title do you usually give yourself? All of them, all of the above?
Yeah, I think all of the above. Sometimes when you tell somebody that you're a personal coach, they look at you like you're going to sell them a used car and you just kind of start backing up.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but everybody needs to realize that everybody who's going forward needs a coach, right? And so if you could take the word coach off of it, and I don't want to say mentor because I'm not Tony Robbins, I'm not Bob Proctor or Jim Rohn, all of those people, they've earned this public figure, this stature of being a mentor, and I've been there and done that. Well, to be honest, we've all been there and done that. And now I've decided to put it to a proven script, a proven program that says we're going to start with your goals and we're going to talk about your self-image, because if you don't see yourself doing what it is you want to do, you're never going to get there. So that's where we're going to begin. What do you want and how do you see yourself? And in there, we're going to take those steps. We're going to break it down into a whole new way of seeing yourself. I don't want to be your hero. I'm not your hero. I'm just a guide. I have a program in my hands that says we can do this step by step. And at the end of it, you're going to be your hero. So I see Envision Results growing in that way. And at some point, I will probably put together my own program. But right now, I use somebody else's because it works.
Because it's been proven, right?
Yeah, it's been proven. It's called Thinking into Results. And it has been proven and proven and proven. It's a great stepping stone. It's a great tool to just achieve goals step by step and to have a working frame. And sometimes that's what you need. You need to read the directions in the box.
Yes. Are you working with specific age groups, or is it all age groups? 18 and up, children?
I have said no to teenagers and below. And I'm kind of funny.
The dynamic is very different.
It is very different. And kids need something that I don't have. And I'm just not sure what that is, but I just don't feel like that's me. So my age group is really and truly my age group. 35 to 65. I've got them all in there. And like I said, most of them are private because it allows for some more intimacy. And when a person is first starting out with a coach, they don't even know what to expect. And so talking about what their goals and their dreams are, they don't need anybody else sniggering at them. They need to be in a supportive situation. They need to have somebody who is on their side, that's got their belief, that is there to champion them. And I'm your wingman. You're going to accomplish this because I'm looking at it from the outside. You can only see what you can see from here. A fish doesn't see the water, but we see it from the outside. And so everyone needs a coach or somebody on the outside to say, I believe in you. I know you can get this, but you got to pick up that left foot sooner. You got to move forward quicker. You got to take action. And it's hard to do. It's scary. And that's what a coach and a mentor does. They have your best interest at heart. They just want you to move forward. I got a wingman. I also have 2 different coaches. So I'm moving forward. That's my goal. I have all kinds of goals. Envision Results is going to be a tool to get me to those goals.
I love it. Thanks so much. Wow, I feel like doing 20 push-ups right now. I'm like, hang on. I'm getting pumped up. Thank you so much.
I believe you can do it. I know you can do it.
Thank you.
5 at a time. 5 at a time. You can do it.
Well, this has been an amazing interview. Thanks so much for pumping me up. And you know what? You got it. You're going to be your own hero. Everyone's got to be their own hero. And you're an incredible guide. I already feel like I've been, what's the plural word? Guided? Guided? Is there a plural for guided?
Guided. I hope you got something out of this. This was really fun for me.
I did.
Too.
Thank you. This has been amazing.
Always fun to talk to people.
I would love to have you back in the show to see how everything's going in a few months.
Absolutely. I would be happy to do that. Thank you so much.
So you're welcome. How can our audience find you?
So I talk to people one-on-one to see if we're actually a fit. Find me on Facebook, Envision Results. And there's a group there. There's probably 500 people in it that listen to me talk. Like this morning, I did an interview with a woman who specializes in trauma therapy. And so there's information in there, and that's where you find me. Send me a message or on Instagram, Envision Results, and let's talk and see if it fits, if it's something that you feel like you can work with. There's no sense getting a coach if you aren't going to do as you're told. You're not going to,
right? It's even if you're going to the gym and so they're telling you to do 5 reps and you sit there and stare at them like, I'm not going to do it. How are you going to get results if you're not doing what the coach is telling you to do?
Exactly. Major athletes have coaches because they need help. Executives have coaches. They need help. Politicians have coaches. Anyone that's got a bigger goal outside of what it is they're doing, they have somebody that's in there going, come on, you got to move.
You've got Jiminy Cricket right here.
Yes, exactly. That little white angel, red angel, that one?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been a blessing meeting you, Marnye Moore. Thank you so much for being on A Little Less Fear podcast, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.